Waka Flocka Flame. Put on the full Juggalo costume, head to toe, and Juggalos are like, he looks like us! And then they all love him, you know. Juggalos are easy to please.
He's one of us!
Non-apologetic
Nonsense.
Now, I want to talk to you about a conversation we had the other day. I didn't put the pieces together until after we hung up, but I think I have you figured out. You tell me if I'm wrong. The Twiztid show we're going to, it's the anniversary of the Freakshow tour. I was there as like a 14-year-old, me and Jonathan, you know. Our plan was for you to roll down with us. You notified me that you wanted to get a hotel because you didn't like riding, you know, backseat during the night, da-da-da. Yeah. I don't think that's what it is. I'm going to tell you what I think it is.
Okay.
What I think it is you're worried that you're somehow going to be stuck in the back seat with a drunk driver driving you 2 hours home from Tulsa. Is that correct?
No, I don't like driving at night.
Really? Even being in the back seat?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I thought you were just being nice, but the reality, what I thought after I got off the phone, I was like, who cares about being in the back seat? I said, I bet for some reason he thinks that Jonathan will get drunk. I, for whatever reason, won't stop him from driving, and that you would take a chance, because I know you don't like being in vehicle with drunk drivers, and I can't blame you, from Tulsa of all places.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought your whole thing was, I'm going to spend extra money and do it because I don't even want to take the chance that maybe I'm in the back seat during a drunk driving escapade.
Yeah. No,
Really?
Driving really at night anywhere, even in town.
You just blew my episode. Yeah. So I spoke to Jonathan about it. We were kind of torn. He doesn't want to get a hotel. I'm kind of with him. But we both thought that you just didn't want to ride with the drunk driver. And we're like, we felt bad thinking you were going to have to spend a bunch of extra money to avoid a situation that wasn't even going to happen in the first place.
Yeah, no, that wasn't it. We're all grown-ups now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. And I'm like, why wouldn't he just tell me that? So I was like, I'm going to wait till I get the cameras on, then I'm calling him out.
Well, how'd that work out for you?
It worked fantastically. Now I got 12 minutes of stuff to kill. Here was my thought on the whole thing. Is just that we're like an hour and a half away from home. Why turn it into a 2-day thing when it can, you know, by the time you get back into your hotel, settled down, sitting there having a drink or whatever, we would already be back home. So we kind of didn't want you to have to pay for gas, pay for hotel. But I mean, like you say, we're grown-ass men. If that's what you want to do, I mean, you can stop at the gay strip club on the way down there if you want. But I thought I'd just lay that framework out for you in case that was the issue you were having. Well, so what are you going to do?
I'll probably get a hotel.
Cool.
Yeah.
My mic's all jimmy jammed. The only thing you're going to have to do is, I was thinking, I don't see a way to split up the tickets because it's like a digital widget, you know, like a QR code.
Yeah.
So you'll have to be there with us when we go in. So I assume you'd already be down there, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing you have to coordinate.
I thought it was on a Saturday, but it's Friday. So I'll get off Friday. I work Thursday night, so I'll get off Friday morning. So I'll go home and sleep for a bit before I make that drive.
What time do you actually get off?
6:10 to 6:30 in the morning.
Ew. I don't know how close it is, but the other day I saw this like event center. It's got like zip lines over canyons and stuff in Tulsa. I thought, man, if it could be done time-wise, where it's not like, I'm not going to drive an hour out of my way.
Right.
But if it's within like 20 minutes or something, go there, zip line over, you know, like I did that in Vegas over, not Las Vegas Boulevard, Fremont Street. And that was awesome, you know. And then there's also, there's like nerd stuff that I could maybe talk Jonathan into doing. If you were there, you could help me out. But like they have big like retro game stores, like where they have like actual old consoles, old games, collectibles, and blow some.
Like check that out.
Yeah, I thought that would be super cool because apparently it's supposed to be like huge, you know. Have you been following what's going on at the Gathering this year?
Not really.
See, once again, I don't listen to the music, but I do like watching, you know, like the live streamers and stuff at the Gathering. Waka Flocka Flame.
Yeah, I did see that.
He
all painted up.
His first year, he got stuff thrown at him. Instead of like making a big deal out of it, he jumped into the crowd, got right up to the people who were throwing stuff at him, and started doing his show like right in the dude's face, like in the crowd. And so he got accepted. So this year he put on the full Juggalo costume, head to toe, and Juggalos are like, he looks like us. And then they all love them, you know. Juggalos are easy to please. Let's just, if they throw a Faygo at you, you pick it up, throw it back at them. They're like, he's one of us. And that's sort of that. Now, we did have the thing that happens every year where someone gets mad at that stuff and winds up taunting the crowd and then inevitably leaving. That is Ill Bill this year.
Ill Bill, huh?
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought it. Yeah. New York MC, he's awesome. Now, there's all sorts of speculation saying he was super messed up, but he was doing his show without a backing track. Okay, he was just live spitting over the music. And you could tell he had lost his place in the clip I saw because he kept stopping. He was off beat. And, you know, I listen to Ill Bill. That's not how he sounds. And then he does start getting Faygo thrown at him. And then he just kicks one that lands and goes, deuces, and just walks off. And everyone's like, fuck you. So I just saw endless threads. Ill Bill's a bitch. Fuck Ill Bill. And it's like, sometimes people don't have to do hours worth of research. Should they know that at this point? Sure. But some guys are just like, hey, I like the clowns. We'll go do a show. And they don't know that people are going to be chucking rocks at them, you know? I think it was a year I went. It might have been the year afterwards that Method Man and Redman were up there and someone threw like a broken beer bottle and slashed one of their faces open. And then all the jugglers were like, and they got fucking mad. Pussies. So here's the new thing that's going on. Online in these Juggalo gathering groups, at least the one that I joined, they're creating wanted posters for Juggalos there who do stuff they don't like, trying to rally other Juggalos to go beat them up. So you would see wanted posters, this guy's a woman beater. Well, how do you know? You calling me a liar? Like no one shows anything, right? And it's a bunch of tough guys who are like someone will post the picture and then there'll be comments like, well, I'm over at Franklin Row. I'm going to go over there right now and I'm going to rip his goddamn head off. But you know, they're not doing that. I don't understand this obsession with being on social media while you're at the gathering. Like experience the gathering. You're really stopping every 10 minutes. Main stage looks cool. Boop. 12 likes, you know. So the biggest thing I saw, though, involving these wanted posters, there's this widespread conspiracy that there was a guy with a spray gun, like a water gun, and it had fentanyl in it. Which, right off the bat, do you think that happened?
I don't know if it works like that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
It does. It does not, by the way. It's a mucous membrane, so it would have to get in your eyes, nose, mouth. But theoretical. I mean, it could, but you getting splashed is not going to hurt you.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Well, it did not happen. At least I'm going to say that as fact. Now, it went all around that this guy was spraying, and then you would see like 30 comments, and he'd be like, you know what? We got sprayed with a water gun, and I slept so good last night. It must have been the Fent. It must have been the Fent. And it's like,
everybody go try it.
No, you would, if this were true, you would have had overdoses, maybe even deaths, you know, and then that dude would have been found charged with murder. That's what would have happened if it were real. So there are thousands of people online who's like, man, we can't even go to the gathering anymore because they got Fent guns.
Fent guns.
A person isn't wasting however many thousands of dollars would be needed to dilute down in a full, like, you know, water gun, super soaker tube. Second, if it were happening, people would have actually gotten hurt. And apparently, though, it was enough of a concern that they have a medical center there. They tracked down the guy and everyone who thought they were affected. They tested the water. They tested the people. Everything was negative. But that's been like the 3-day conspiracy theory is that there's Fent guns. I even saw the headline from like a news outlet. It was like, Juggalos gather, Faygo, Fent guns, and not so much fun, or something like that. Even when I went, people were like selling their art, or they were selling Faygo, or selling, maybe they have a rare like Hollywood Records Malenko or something. You know, they sell their little trinkets and knickknacks to help cover their drive. So there was a Juggalo who posted before it started, showing that he had like 2 vanfuls of Faygo, and he's like, you can get a 3 liter for $5 or 2 cans for $2 or whatever. So he got bombarded by people, and they claim they ran him out. But they were like, it only cost $0.25 and you're selling it for $1? I thought we were family. And it is just this whole thing where anybody who's selling anything now is getting berated, saying that you should have given that away for free, including waters, etc. I don't follow that train of thought. Like that dude, because what people would say is you can drive 30 minutes away and get it. And it's like, yeah, you're paying an extra $1 to not make an hour round trip.
Yeah.
This guy's like, there's nothing
more in gas. Second.
There's nothing wrong with what he's doing. They're acting like it's not like he's sitting there in this 100-degree weather going $34 for a 20 ounce of water.
Yeah.
You know, it's a completely different scenario. But yeah, people are like, we're chasing out anyone who's selling Faygo, water, or alcohol. You should give it to me free. It's like, well, what are you giving me? You know what I mean? Because when I went, it was more of a barter system. I think I only had like a $100 bill to spend for like the 3 days. Now, bear in mind, I already had everything in my car, like necessity-wise that I would need. It was just if I wanted a little extra food or, you know, if I wanted a little smoke or whatever. But yeah, they think they should get everything for free. I saw, you know who Lardy B is?
Yeah.
I saw Lardy B was walking around waddling around, wherever she waddles, and people were coming up wanting photos, right? Normal stuff. And it's 100+ degrees, right? So it's a bunch of juggalos, which you already know they're going to stink, because, sorry. And they would be shirtless, and they would have their arm around Lardy, where, like, my armpit would be on, like, her shoulder. And you could just kind of see, she's like... But, yeah. So I'm also getting the report that no one is showering. Can you guys do better? Does it have to get out in news outlets saying stink fest,
Fent guns,
Fent guns, and stinky pits? I couldn't imagine going down there now because, like, I didn't even have a campsite when I went. I just like slept on the ground, you know, in 100-degree weather and stuff. I couldn't do that anymore. I wouldn't want to do it. It would ruin the experience for me. Awful. If after one of the shows I couldn't go and shower. Because, like, by, like, day 2 or 3 when I went, the Juggalos had destroyed all of the porta potties. I mean, just broke them. Like, you didn't want to open them doors. And they did the same with the showers. I would go, but I would need, like, the big baller RV pass. You know what I mean? I would rent an RV. I would have my air conditioning, my everything, and then I would have a place just to go and get good again instead of just being miserable. Yeah. Think about all the people in a tent, 4 days straight, 100-degree weather.
I like camping, but...
Not me. I hate camping. Now, would you have... You haven't been to a gathering. Would you go to a gathering?
Probably not. Not now.
You don't think so? You think the environment, the dynamics have changed too much?
Probably.
I don't disagree with that. I also seen where they were trying to put wanted posters up for people who were wearing Twiztid merch.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, Twiztid left the label like 15 years ago. You know what I mean? I was like 24 then. So these kids would have been like, it would have been before their time with this music. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I do wonder what the dynamic will be at the show. Because I am kind of curious how, like, the next generation of Juggalos, if they even call them that on Twiztid side now, how they do it. Do they all hang out all day like we did, having shenanigans? Or is it more like Twiztid's fans are mostly just... people like Warped Tour fans and people who came across them after they left Psychopathic. And it's more of just a general show. You know, I am curious about that. Is everybody out there painted up, chanting, but don't you dare do a chant from when they were on Psychopathic? Or...
Right. That's an Independence Day jersey I got that I was going to wear. They're still Psychopathic, so it's got the Hatchet Man. And...
I wouldn't worry about any of that. Fuck them.
Oh, I'm not.
It would be funny, though, because, see, back in the day, I was always, like, the asshole juggalo who was, like, starting the chants at the shows and shit. But you hit them with, like, a "We Don't Die" chant or something, then all of a sudden, "Who's going chicken hunt? Gotcha!" But, yeah, so we'll have to figure out all the time and stuff. But I do kind of think it would be worth maybe going down there a little bit early and just kind of seeing what they get into.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe not. Like I say, I have no idea what to expect. I haven't seen Twiztid since they left the label.
Is it Blaze and ABK on there too?
It's Blaze, ABK, and then a couple like C-list Juggalo rappers, Bake Low and someone else. So I think it's going to be a 5-act show. Doors are at 6:30. We're assuming show's going to start around 7:38, probably run till about 10:30. Yeah. And then that'll sort of be that. But I kind of thought it would at least be fun, you know, I assume they still have pits at those shows. If they're real packed, you know, I'm going to be on top of that crowd. Woo! Don't you give me no dirty looks or I'm putting my feet down. You ever have somebody crowd surf by you that doesn't actively have their feet up? Oh, it just kicks everyone in the head. Picture your legs are dangling, doink, 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 doink. Yeah, that's like crowd surfing etiquette. You actively hold your feet up like you're about to give birth. You know, you're on your back and you just have those legs up and you're pushing. One last thing though, the bad thing about Tulsa though is back in the day, at least in Oklahoma, they didn't allow crowd surfers to go over the barricade. It was like a full Oklahoma thing. So if you're crowd surfing, when you get to the front, they push you back into the crowd. So what that means is instead of you gently going over the barricade and walking around, they push you back and you're going to get tossed around until eventually you find a hole. And when you find that hole, you hit. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think that is all for today. See ya.